All right. So my wife Carly is on Buy Nothing. It's like a Facebook group that is the only thing we have Facebook for.
Okay. I think a lot of people just use groups.
Okay. Anyway, so we're on this thing, and she it's just people giving away stuff like, hey, I don't want this anymore. Somebody come get it. I don't want to go through the hassle of having a garage sale.
Okay.
And so like we had bought a washer and dryer when we moved into this house. It's like 10 years ago. And then apparently I hooked it up real weird the first time. And we've just been smelling gas for like 7 years.
Oh.
And so then Carly's like, I don't know, maybe we should get this checked out.
For 7 years?
Yeah, it was real minor.
Bypass right past that.
Every day's a joy, I guess.
Yeah. And so the gas company comes out and they're like, yeah, it's like forbidden. He slaps all these stickers all over it. It's forbidden. Can't use it. Don't do it. Danger. And so he leaves, and I'm like scraping these stickers off. Like I'm gonna dry my clothes. And anyway, so we give ours away. Hey, has problems. Sure, I'll take it. And so we get another one. Well, it doesn't quite dry our clothes, so we give that one away. And because
you're just a peddler of washers and dryers,
broken
at this point.
Yeah,
broken appliances.
And I mean, just like a lot of parents, I've probably built and taken apart a lot of kid beds. I'm probably like 15 at this point.
That's a lot of kids.
Only have 2 kids.
Yeah.
Yeah, they were getting a new bed every few months. Just again, free.
Oh, I see.
I'm not like made of beds. I mean, I guess I am.
You just get paid direct salary in child beds?
No stock for you, just beds. And so she's on Buy Nothing, and she sees somebody giving away a washer and dryer set. And hey, Patrick, go over to this house. You're going to pick these up. And so I get over there, and these things are gigantic. They've got the little pedestal on the bottom with the drawer. And so I cram these things into my car, and it's a Mazda Miata.
Wait, hold on.
The trunk.
You cram these things as in you pick them up and put them in your car?
Yes.
Now I have questions about the size of your car and the size of the machines.
Okay, so it's not really a Miata. I lied about that. We have a Suburban now because we have a delivery business.
Okay.
But anyway, fit 2 tall washer and dryers in there.
Dang.
Yeah, bananas.
Yeah.
Glowing.
I've been reading these books. It's about, it's called
I've also been reading
Superpowered.
books. Oh, not those. Not that book. Okay.
Good job. Yeah, it's called Animorphs.
Yeah.
It's called Superpowered. So these kids that don't have control of their superpowers. Anyway, there's a story from like one of the dad's point of view of his son. He's got super strength, and he's lifting a washing machine over his head for the first time.
Okay.
And he's like, I don't know,
see where
10.
this is going.
Yeah. And so I'm like, I wonder if I could lift a washer over my head. And so I went on, I don't know, Copilot or something. Hey, can I do this? Do not do this. It is super dangerous. It's there's nowhere for you to hold on to it, and the inside parts can move on you.
That was the second meaning of the forbidden stickers.
Gosh, like
Forbidden,
you see
do
those
not
like
lift
pictures
overhead.
on the side where it always has like the stick figure and like all these different positions to not do with the washing machine. I'm pretty sure the first one is both arms up with the thing on top. But Patrick's like, anyway, I can though, right?
So anyway, I got these home and I got them hooked up, and now we got to get rid of our old washer and dryer. We gave them away to these guys, and I had a very motivational experience. They came over, and I had just showered, and I'm like, "Hey, can I help you lift them up?" One of the guys talks just like Snoop Dogg. He's like, I don't know, white or whatever, but talks just like Snoop Dogg. I'm like, "Hey, can I help you lift any of these?" He goes, "No, boss, we got it." And I thought to myself, you know what? I am the boss of this washing machine. Thank you. Yeah. So I felt really, really good.
I got to tell you, I could not lift a washer over my head.
Yet.
That's a good point.
Every day's a new day, Zach.
Is a dryer lighter? Because it doesn't have that. Okay.
It's full of air, so totally, yeah.
It's not as wet
Hot
either.
air.
It's a lot drier. Drier things.
I've seen balloons. I know how this works.
Yeah, that's a lot more adventure with washers and dryers than I have had. Like, I got a stackable one, and then I just ride it out till it just literally doesn't work anymore. I don't want to
it'd be hard to lift a stackable one.
I don't want to get new kids' beds. I don't want to get new things. You get too many
So
new
what do you
things.
do instead?
Well, free new things, which is better. And conversely, instead of getting new things over and over again, I just move 14 times, which is what I've done. And so instead of moving a washer and dryer a few times, I move all of my things 14 times, which is obviously the more efficient way to do it.
So do you drive when you move?
I do.
Stupid question. I'm trying to segue you into your topic. I just can't do it.
It's okay. It's okay. We don't need to. Okay. But I do drive a lot when I move, Patrick. Thank you. I've never flown when I move. I've never walked when I move. I have driven when I move.
Now you have moved several states over. You didn't fly?
No, I drove because we had to get our cars moved. I had to follow the moving truck, which I had a friend that drove the moving truck. I remember specifically driving through the mountains and watching the moving truck in front of me, like my entire life is in that truck, and watching it kind of sway with these crazy curves up in the mountains with these giant winds. And I'm just like, that truck. There was a couple times where I literally thought that truck's going over. It's done. Wow. But no good. We made it all the way there, so that was nice. I'm not dead, as you can see. Yeah, I don't recommend moving that many times, guys. I've found this place and I'm settled.
Big House doesn't want you to know, but you don't have to move. You just stay one place forever.
I was moving for jobs and things, and finally I was like, well, I can get a job where I live rather than live where I get a job. All done.
This is 2026, man. You got to do remote work. You got to do it properly.
Go.
That's kind of like where my mindset changed around then. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
How many trucks through the mountains does it take?
Too many, because I also had to get up there. But I think that way I sent. You ever do pods?
No.
Like they just drop this big
is that
box
like a
in your
drug?
driveway. Yeah, the Tide Pods. It's like the thing that they did back in 2019 or whatever.
I moved the old-fashioned way. 100 trips in my car and absolutely exhausted afterwards, and then I just leave things in the trash anyways.
2 days each way.
That's the idea, right? Like
It's
you
the
move
American
and you
dream.
just load and load until you're just like, I don't want to take any more things. I'm tired of this.
I'm done. I'm leaving this propane tank on the side of the road. It's just how it's going to be.
Pods are like a big giant box that they leave in your driveway, and you're just supposed to. It just magically appears overnight. You load it. You close it. You lock it, and then you say, "Okay, come get it," and then it disappears overnight, and then it appears at your new place. Hopefully not broken.
So it's exactly like traveling through Z-space.
We at Animorphs 55, the podcast, would love to hear from you. You can email the show at animorphspodpeople@gmail.com. We also post links to other listening methods, our Blue Sky account, and links to friends of the show on our Linktree at linktree.com/Animorphs55, the podcast. Enjoy the show.
It is exactly like traveling through Z-space.
Exactly.
Welcome to Animorphs 55, the podcast. I'm Zach, one of your hosts. I have other hosts here.
I'm Alex, another
I am
host.
Patrick.
Aww.
Ooh, you got me.
Got you this time.
Got me.
But we're accompanied by another host today, as it so happens.
And I am Rena Gale, a guest host.
We'll talk all about your stuff, Rena. Might know you from...
From Animorphs Aloud, a fan reading of the Animorphs series.
Perfect. And we chose, this time, we're doing The Decision, book number 18. Only our second Axe cover book, the one where he turns into Mosquito. Generic, though. Change a little, change a lot. Alex, just change. It doesn't say Alex in the tagline.
Just get more and more generic with those taglines, yeah.
I know. I feel like it's getting worse, right? With that.
I think were they ever
Well,
good?
there's been... I swear
not good, but I mean they're great. They are amazing, but they're not very descriptive.
They're not.
I think is what I'm going for.
Axe and the Animorphs are about to have a huge problem. It starts when they decide to morph mosquitoes in order to slip by some unsuspecting Yeerks. It ends with them stuck in zero space with no idea how they got there, no way to get back to Earth, and no oxygen. Luckily, an Andalite scout ship finds them before it's too late, and now Axe is finally with his own people, and he doesn't know if he ever wants to go back to Earth. Is that the first time where, well, I don't know if that's very much what happens.
That's very much like the description of a single chapter, really.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess that's what I mean. Like,
sliced right through.
It's like you could say at any point on the cover, and there was like mind controlling aliens in this one, and you're like, yep, I guess you're right. A little generic on both sides with this.
Axe and his friends will have to change into animals.
Change a little, change a lot.
I'm grateful I didn't read the back cover for this one before I actually started in on the book, because it was much more jarring, and we'll obviously get into, the overall plot and everything, but it was much more jarring not knowing what the decision was going to be, or if there was even one arguably made. But the back really drops that in there. So rather than the idea of a hard pivot, you just end up with something that you're waiting to happen.
Yeah, I'm wondering if that should just be your strategy moving forward. Just don't read the back. Until
I get done with the book, and then I'm like, man, that was a dumb description on the back.
Or a dumb book. We've had that too.
Either way.
So then the decision is, does Axe want to go back to Earth?
Yeah.
Earth?
Yeah, I mean, because otherwise it'd be like the side war, or like the metaphorical rubber band.
Yeah, those aren't as catchy.
Not as catchy. It doesn't really fit with the theme.
You're already in a war, Axe. You want to go to one that you don't know what's going on?
Yeah, well, apparently. Ugh. Okay, well, let's start here.
Let's get into it. Yeah,
let's start here. So we start off with a classic Axe scene where Axe just wants to eat a dang cinnamon bun, which we have learned this over time. That is a big characteristic of him. He's trying to get money by working, talking to a front counter person like he's the idiot, trying to get money. I want to work so I can.
Somebody's got a history in customer service. He's talking to the front counter person like he's the idiot.
Yeah. So he can eat cinnamon buns. That's all he wants. And the manager is sorry for him because he's just kind of special. And in the end, after all this commotion to get cinnamon buns, I did actually mark this part to read like right away. Right away.
Please.
Okay, now look, son, if you're that desperate for food, there's a tray of buns here that are just a bit stale. You can help yourself, you poor kid. She indicated a square array of cinnamon buns, perhaps a dozen in all. For me? I asked, and a voice choked with emotion. Sure, son, go ahead and have one. Now let me make one final point here. Human mouth sound language is very fuzzy at times. Have one, she'd said. One mouthful, one bun, one tray. It was certainly not my fault if there was any confusion.
Fantastic characterization.
I mean, it is Axe. That is Axe.
Of course, if we were wondering exactly how many cinnamon rolls a person could fit before they experience distress, we do have the case of Adolf Frederick, King of Sweden, who had a large meal, including 14 helpings of his favorite dessert, which was similar to a cinnamon roll, and then died after. So maybe 14 cinnamon rolls is the fatal amount.
This is a fun fact. Okay. I mean, I would say 14 would be on a tray.
I saw it
like 12.
on Facebook this morning, and I was like, I have to mention that today.
That's
gorgeous.
Beautiful. Oh, that's great.
Because 14 is a baker's 13, which unlucky.
Yeah, you just round up. Everyone knows if it ends in a 2, you round up to 4. That's how math works to them. The same group that did the sum of the square of the angles in some other book.
A dyscalculic baker's dozen. There we go.
So really, it's a transition for the team to be like, hey guys, listen to this crazy Axe thing that he did. Anyways, let's get to the mission. Really, that's the point, right?
Yeah, so he's I guess it's a back in the barn thing, but Marco's suddenly telling the story. Axe is telling us that Marco is telling us the story of how Marco found Axe at the mall, yes. Surrounded by paramedics.
As a war journal, this is very strange to be like, let me write down the story that I'm writing of the story of someone else writing about my story. Yes.
Right.
Yeah, because this whole first chapter is Axe writing back to the military back at home, right?
Or anybody, just wherever these journals are found. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's a weird way to go. But it's a chi day where they just need to figure out what's going on with the Yeerks. We need to have a mission. Enter the chi to tell us a thing to do.
Okay, yeah. So the hospital, probably the same one that Rachel ran as an elephant through when Jake got shot in the head and stuck his head in the hot tub, book 6.
Mm-hmm.
I guess it's repaired
Mm-hmm.
and home to
His head?
high-profile guests.
Or
Sorry,
the hot
what?
tub. His head or the hot tub is repaired.
Well, I mean, you can't really tell if his head is repaired, but
It's a book. It's all
hospital
written down.
is.
Dang.
Jake has had more than one concussion. We know that.
Just oodles of concussions. So there is a famous by proxy sort of person staying in this not hotel, hospital, and it is Hewitt Aldershot III, who is second in command of the U.S. Secret Service. So he's, I guess, got access to the president.
Or the governor. Something like that. Some high-ranking official.
U.S. Secret Service.
Then that'll do it.
I think they said the president several times.
Yeah.
And so then they spend, a chapter and a half with Marco making fun of this guy's name?
Yes.
Hewitt Aldershot III. And I am immediately reminded of the scene in Zoolander 2 where they go to the restaurant and David Spade is their waiter. And there's a sign on the wall that says farm-to-table Wi-Fi. And rather than just let that be like a funny thing in the background, Owen Wilson points it out. Farm-to-table Wi-Fi? What's that? Like, hey, everybody, laugh at this.
Laugh at this joke.
Rather than, it's like, this is a thing that you chose to include in your book.
Why do I need to point it out
over and over? Make sure
everybody
reading it knows how stupid it is.
Yeah. Yes. You find out he was hit by Chapman in a car and in a possible
minivan.
Coma. Yeah.
So he's not a chi.
It's the funniest possible outcome.
Yes.
Chapman, a local vice principal, in his minivan, possibly driving to work, hit someone hard enough that a Secret Service agent, who must have just been crossing the street or something, so hard that they went into a vegetative state. And we just breeze on past.
Yeah, fine.
Whatever,
fine.
man.
And then he just kept going.
No police report needed. Let's not talk about that any further.
He's going to still be assistant principal the next book.
Yeah.
He's
not in court.
The assistant principal almost killed a guy? Yeah, I did.
That's crazy. So they discover that he's in a coma. They discover the Yeerks are running this hospital. I'm back on track now, guys. I got it. And so Visitor 3 is there. And he's like, hey, I need this guy to be a controller. Well, I don't know, man. He's totally like unconscious. Well, then I'll morph the guy, and he starts to demorph, maybe to acquire him, whatever, which kind of comes back as this book concludes, but I'll bring that up later. Then he just kind of looks over at the window where the Animorphs have been kind of seagull spying this whole time. And I just picture Visitor 3 just like one eye stalk looks and then just kind of steps out of frame. And like Axe is very much like, And Marco goes, Did he see us? I feel like he saw us. Did he see us? I hope he didn't see us. Guess what? Visitor 3 saw them.
So we've seen in multiple books that Visitor 3 is very aware of any potential animal being an Andalite and bandit and morph. How many innocent animals do you think he's killed over the course of 18
exactly
books
what I was
so
just
far?
thinking.
So many.
And I just wish that, Marco books are funny in comparison to the other ones. I just wish that in one of the Marco books, Visser 3 would just go after a group of squirrels and just
they're just watching from afar.
Just make a fool of himself.
Visitor 3 is going nuts on these squirrels.
They're just different squirrels.
Yeah, exactly.
Just chasing squirrels with a frying pan or something.
It's the one time they're squirrels and it turns out to be 5 mice that are hanging out this time. And it's I'm glad we weren't those mice this time.
Not this time.
Good luck.
Now, I do want to bring this up because this is a pretty, not contentious, just a debated point. Visitor 3 explodes out of this window as a kafit bird. That's how I pronounce it. Am I saying it right?
That's how I pronounce it.
And it's just a
in my normal day-to-day
mini-winged
life.
weird bird from the Andalite world. We've actually heard about this bird one other time. Axe is very startled and freaked out to see the kafit bird. In fact, Marco later says, hey, that was a choice. He chose to do the kafit bird to freak you out. The reason he's freaked out is because that means Visitor 3, the abomination, has been on the home world. And that thought disturbs me that a Yeerk was that close to the Andalite planet. What do you think about that? Or did you give it a second thought?
I immediately, as I was reading through, thought, that's not what that means. We've learned that the Andalite military recruits train by acquiring a Khafiit bird.
Mm-hmm.
So wouldn't Alaran have the morph already?
Yes.
Yeah, so that's one potential explanation.
Do you have any, Rena, any like headcanons to make this work in your head?
No, that's definitely one of my considerations he previously acquired. But I do like the fact, we know from previous books that Axe is not the most reliable source when it comes to like remembering things correctly and thinking things through like logically when it comes to what was happening back on the homeworld. He's famous for being distracted in class and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So I do feel like it is in character for him to jump to the worst conclusion and it be more of a focus on Axe's emotional reaction than to consider perhaps the most logical explanation.
And it does get brought up for a few chapters where he just keeps being like, it's still bothering me. It's still bothering me. I'm like, man, you're really doubling down on this thing that isn't bothering me as a reader, Now, my headcanon to make it work is that yes, the military does that. Like you practice with Khafiit morphs, but that morphing technology is fairly new. And so Alaran's an older Andalite. So at the time when he went through the early military, morphing wasn't a thing. He didn't do the Khafiit bird thing. Morphing got acquired later. He was already like high ranking, whatever. He doesn't go through all the training stuff. So he never got a Khafiit bird. I don't know why Axe would know any of that about Alaran's personal morphing array, but that's how I make it make sense in my brain.
Yeah, that's also a good explanation. I'd buy it.
So I want to go back to Visser 3 chasing squirrels.
Of course.
So we know that Alex has just this dream of seeing Visser 3 and Tom face off in basketball.
Right.
I have decided just as of this moment that what I want to see out of the series the most is a side book of Visser 3 going to all these alien worlds and pouncing on all of these Morph of the Week monsters that he ends up using.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm picturing Visser 3, he's an Andalite, just jumping and chasing a Khafiit bird through the trees and...
Or any of these like crazy rock monsters or like lava monsters or wild...
Yeah, like how does one acquire a lava monster or any of the fire-breathing, the ones that have like acidic skin or stuff like that? Like how does one acquire that and not die?
If they're asleep, you just go to all of them when they're asleep.
Like, but does your hand melt off? Like, does the acquisition process still work if you're losing skin off your finger?
Thank you.
Yeah.
That's exactly what I've been saying.
Yeah. So okay. So he's freaked out about the Khafiit bird and all this, but they do say, "Hey, look, we escaped." He has a moment where it's like him versus Visser 3 on top of a building, and they're like about to go. It's
McDonald's, right?
Yes,
something like that. Yeah.
It's a non-specific golden arches. I don't know what restaurant might have those non-specific golden arches.
Right. We don't want.
You've been in this building.
Yeah, like one book ago. Yeah, and so, but Visser 3 wieners out, right? And it's like, psych, and just jumps off, And Axe is like, all right.
It was a bit anticlimactic to have this, like, I was going blade to blade with him, It was just, we were testing each other, circling around each other. And then Visser 3's just like, I'm not doing this. Hops into a dumpster, turns into a human, makes a crummy little face at Axe, and then just runs off.
I imagine sticks his tongue out.
It's a comedy moment. It is a comedy moment, but it's in such a serious context that it's absurd.
Visser 3 is super saved by a back at the barn moment here. He's turned into a human, or he's jumped into the dumpster from like the roof of a one-story McDonald's, and over the course of a couple of minutes, I guess, turns into a human in the dumpster. We hear somebody say, "Hey, I think I saw a blue horse jump into the dumpster."
That's right.
And things worked out.
It's fine. Fine.
He wasn't like, "Hey, what were you... where's that blue horse? What were you doing in that dumpster?"
There was no blue horse. That's all.
There is no war in Ba Sing Se.
Exactly.
But I do have questions about that. Like, so Visser 3 morphs to human, but we've seen in previous books that like Axe had to be taught how to incorporate clothing into his human morph. Is that a skill that Visser 3 has? Or was there a very much just random naked guy coming out of that dumpster?
Could have been.
Why were you naked in the dumpster with a blue horse?
I saw a blue horse fall in there. Yeah, I saw a naked guy get out. I'm much more bothered by that.
That's why the blue horse got overridden. Yeah,
exactly.
Not a bad point. And so they get away, and they're like, "Man, how are we going to possibly get Hewlett Aldershot III out of here?" Do they decide, okay, well, he's really close to important people, so if we could morph him instead, right? Is that what the plan was? Why did they even want Hewlett Aldershot III in the first place, besides saving his butt?
Well, the idea was that if, since Hewlett Aldershot III has so many access to high-level people, what if he walked in and said, hey, there's these brain-stealing alien slugs going around, and look, I can turn into a rhinoceros, and he demorphs to Jake and becomes a rhino. Then they're going to be like, we might have to take you seriously. So that's their whole reasoning behind why they should acquire Hewlett Aldershot III.
Gotcha.
So this guy is U.S. Secret Service, connection to the White House. This is exactly the same plan from the book where they go back in time into the jungle.
Yes.
Hey, let's fly this spaceship to Washington, D.C. and show everybody.
After this book, they should learn that anytime they're thinking a plan like that, the universe is just going to, no, we're not doing that. No, get them out of here.
It really is that, isn't it?
But I think that's honestly not the worst idea that Marco's had. Again, the idea of, okay, if we go somewhere with someone who's trusted, show them some sort of proof, then they'll have to at least take us somewhat seriously versus a lot of other options. I mean, the appeals to authority to try and sort this whole thing out, I appreciate them still considering that as an option rather than just saying, no, they're probably all controllers. We just need to keep fighting a guerrilla war. Mm-hmm. I think it's a better option this way, at least.
They're trying to expose it. They've tried multiple times to expose it.
Yeah.
So they need to get his DNA so they can morph him so that they can turn into a rhinoceros. Okay, so their plan to get him, since they can't sneak into the hospital because he's on high alert now, they are going to morph into mosquitoes. And this kind of the part of the book is a little fuzzy to me. I just imagine this as Jake, or I think it's Cassie, but just pulls a mosquito out of her pocket. She's like, hey, I got an idea. Oh, what is it? Here it is. And she holds out her hand and there's a mosquito. No, she's got a mosquito and then they're pouncing on it all around the room or something. And Axe can't do it with his weak little Andalite arms. Mm-hmm. And Cassie catches it for him, I think. So the plan is they're going to be mosquitoes and they're going to drink some of his blood
to get
and
the DNA.
Then they can somehow, I'm a mosquito. I have drinking some of his blood.
Right.
Now what?
Yeah.
Are we going to reenact Jake getting splatted in the plane?
Yeah, this plan was not well thought out.
Do they spit out? Do mosquitoes spit?
No.
Oh, great. Alex knows.
You would have to cut open a mosquito and vivisect it to be able to get that blood out of there. Also, my assumption with this was that you can't morph something that is deceased and blood only stays good for so long. If it's used as a food source, a steak is not going to work because, it's cooked. Yeah. But whenever a mosquito ingests it, now it has gastric fluids mixed with it to kind of break it down and be food for the mosquito. I assume that wouldn't work either. But all that's here nor there.
Yeah, because they never actually, it could have been that if this all worked out, then they'd be like, oh, this doesn't work. But we never get to that far.
Should they have tried to test this by having the mosquito bite one of them and then try to acquire it before going to the hospital and attempting the entire scenario?
This was but take 5 extra minutes to try and just proofread the idea, guys. That's all we need to do. Animorphs at 100% capacity is just 5 extra minutes of testing for any given plan. That's it. That's all we need.
They've gotten better. I think they've gotten better at plans as we've gone. Yes. I think they've come up with better and better stuff. They've become more veterans. They're more skilled. They think quicker about the different things they can do. This is a dumb plan.
Yeah.
They've regressed a little bit here.
First draft of this book was they go in, they get his blood, they come out, oh, it didn't work. End of book. No, rewrite it. You need to make this better.
It needs to be longer.
Fine. What if we pull back those frog aliens from a few books ago? Yeah, do that. Okay.
It does feel like the whole thing was the whole setup of the book, like it's 40% of the book is set up just to get us to Z space. And it does feel like unnecessarily elaborate. Like, was there no simpler way to justify everyone being in Mosquito Morph? I don't know.
Or something small. I mean, they're flies all the time.
I mean, they've been fleas, but I mean...
They've been fleas. They've been,
but I guess that's too repetitive, so gotta be something new. And tiny.
Too repetitive. We redid book 11 here with the Jaguar and the going back in time and stuff like that. This is basically the same book. Just
but just everybody remembers it.
Yes. Yeah. So
we get the great line before we go any further. We get the great line from Cassie, the exchange between Cassie and Rachel, where it's like, oh yeah, well, do we morph different mosquitoes or whatever? And Cassie says, we can't all morph the same mosquito. Yes. Only females suck blood. Males are useless. And Rachel goes, amen. And I'm like, what is this, y'all? This is beautiful. I love these old ladies kikiing over here in the corner. This is great. And we just breeze past it.
And then they're like, should we morph a female? Like, let's all morph female ones. She's like, I don't know what a female one looks like. Like what you know the difference?
Yeah, the Marco route. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So this is just one further layer of something that couldn't work. It's just like, I don't know, and if enough of us bite him, one of us got to be a girl, right? And
I know, right?
So
yeah.
Just sorry, we're all here. We're all dudes. Sorry,
plan's over.
We snuck in. I'll risk our lives. My teeth don't work on this guy.
So Axe sneaks in as the distraction, and he does a pretty good job. He gets into this place and just freaks them all out and gets them all to not really think about what's going on. I guess what was the distraction for? I mean, like he distracts and he gets out of the building. He has a great line, by the way. He's like, I would like to. I mean, it's kind of foreshadowing, right? He's like, I would like to join the Yeerks, which that leads to something later. He's like, I would like to join the Yeerks, and they're like, oh wow, really? You want to? He's like, oh, no, I said regretfully.
Kicked out the window, jumped out.
Yeah.
His whole point of being the distraction was that someone goes in so they can get the window open so the other mosquitoes can get in.
There we go.
That was what I ended up realizing. I was like, oh, well, I guess that these 13-year-olds were smarter than me because I definitely did not get that out of the book.
Yeah, and then he mosquitoes and he can fly up there and meet them all. And
exactly.
They're about to bite. Choice. They're about to bite the body.
It's great. It's great. So Axe breaks the window. He jumps out of the window. I don't know how tall this is. It's fine. He lands in the bushes.
Not a dumpster.
Aim for the bushes. Mm-hmm. And so then he's in the bushes, and these controller guys with guns just like lean out the window and start shooting down into the bushes. And as Axe
like real
shrinks down into a mosquito. Yeah, real guns, real loud guns. Yeah, so just remember, they've been shooting into the bushes. So Axe turns into a mosquito. It would be tremendously unlikely. Things that unlikely just don't happen.
I would never get hit by this.
Yeah, he would never get hit by something like that. And so he flies up and I guess joins everybody else. Not that mosquito eyes are so good that they can see each other. I don't know. Oh, but They talk about how all the smells he can smell and the carbon dioxide coming off of people. And then he says, hey, I'm a mosquito, team. And Cassie goes, oh, yeah, isn't it weird? You know that smell that your palps are picking up?
Yeah.
And I'm like, Cassie, what is a palp? Why are you using the word palp? Just be like, your weird mosquito nose is picking this up. No, it has to be educational or they're going to kick us out of the book fair.
Right.
Palp.
I mean, if it's not for Animorphs, where are you going to learn about palps and proboscises and
thermals?
Thermals, yes.
And the differentiation between the which mosquitoes feed and which mosquitoes just bite.
Yeah.
I would give credit to this book in the sense that, there's foreshadowing, like Axe pretending to defect to the Yeerks, or like, impossible, these ridiculously impossible things aren't going to happen, these kind of things. Except the first page of the book literally like spells out what the whole book does. So I'm like, well, you can't really foreshadow when you just say like what happened already right away. I had some problems with the structure of this book. Okay, but
yes.
But so they're about to bite Heal Aldershot the Third, and then pop. Now, Alex, you have never read this one.
Nope.
After reading pop, what did you think that meant? without going to the next
weasel
page.
has just gone.
Oh, I thought he meant that he had, managed to insert his proboscis and got a hold of a vein, like got through the skin, got into a vein, whatever it was. I was like, oh, cool, great.
My wife thought the same
need
thing.
an onomatopoeia, but sure.
And yeah, it's going to blow up.
Yeah.
Yep. Did you ever think, oh, he's in Z space now?
He's been translocated to the place where all morphing goes? No, that was not my first thought when someone said, pop. No, definitely not.
Yeah, so if you don't remember what Z space is, it's zero space. It's an absolutely absence of everything. There's no oxygen. There's no molecules. There's just nothing. It's basically taking the idea of a wormhole to help travel, and just instead of a wormhole, Z space, right? That's the idea, to shorten travel.
For sure.
But long ago, in I think book 10, don't quote me on that.
Yes.
Okay, was? Yes, nice.
Yes.
All right. In book 10, Axe just throws this out there sometimes. He's like, oh, I hate being small things because, then all of our excess mass is in Z space. And they're all like, what? You're just saying this?
Marco holding his butt out the window.
Yeah. And just the effect on Tobias.
It was you mean there's some big chunk of Marco butt just hanging out the Z space window waiting for a passing spaceship to
right
to clip me as it goes
and they're
by?
like, would it ever hit? He's like,
that's
no,
a good idea. I should write a book about that.
So now Tobias doesn't have excess anymore, right? Because he's stuck.
No, he still does, because it's the rest of his hawk body is in Z space. So
that's true.
Yeah.
Okay, so it's less though. There's no human. He has less excess mass than he used to. It's
Yes.
Okay,
gone
wait.
away. All right.
Tobias was a human,
Yes.
got stuck as a hawk.
Mm-hmm.
The excess mass
Is
went
there.
into Z space.
Mhm.
He got stuck as a hawk. The excess mass is probably still in Z space. It's probably just not connected to him anymore.
Maybe. And maybe other people can draw from it still.
That's the nice, great existential horror moment. Yeah.
Yeah, we're all pulling from Nothlit mass. That's how you find extra.
Great. I'm looking forward to reckoning with that later on. That's gonna be rad. Thank you for putting those thoughts in my head.
So Axe is in a place and everyone is next to him and they're all just screaming silently and can't move. And you can kind of see their outsides and insides, and time doesn't work right. 3D doesn't work right.
It's a lot like when Ellimist describes seeing the strands of time.
Yeah.
It's just you see all angles of everything all at once.
Yeah, sure.
So my original thought with this, when I first was reading through this, I'm like, all right, I'm trying to figure it out because obviously we're in Z space, what are we doing and stuff. I thought this was going to be kind of that the thought exercise talking about if you went into a teleporter, is it, if it's reconstructing you on the other side or it's teleporting your consciousness, yourself, whatever it is the you that is you getting destroyed at this end, or is the you that is you ending up on the other end? And the idea of that's a coin flip because, at any given moment, you can't decide which one is going to be which, right? Because you recreate it out of new atoms and stuff like that. So I thought this was a case of he had morphed and then somewhere in there, his consciousness had translocated to the Z space part of his body. And that there was just a mosquito with a mosquito brain just hanging out on there.
Okay.
And I was like, that's deeply horrifying. I think this is going to be fascinating to discuss the implications. But obviously we don't go there.
Well,
and so
in a sense,
that's kind of cool that we didn't.
That's kind of what happened, right? I mean, in the end, that time for the mosquito was completely frozen, so you'd never have a pure mosquito because the whole thing, after all, the next half of the book that we're going to cover only is a billionth of a second in real time to the mosquito time.
Oh, what is this morphing? Again, the idea of exploring the unknowns of morphing technology, despite the fact that we get these little descriptions where I was like, yeah, obviously it goes to Z space. Don't be stupid.
Yeah.
And then you just morph. Don't worry about it.
Yeah.
But the idea of the implications of it was a cool idea to kind of get my mind going of what happened here? Because obviously some rationale has to exist for it. And we even spend the rest of the book exploring it and we don't get the most satisfying answer, but
yeah, they do get with a bunch of Andalites later, and there's scientists that are asking a bunch of questions, and they're like, "Oh my god, I don't care." And
I don't know,
but they're super interested. Yeah,
yeah.
There is luckily an Andalite ship in Z space that Axe makes a point of saying is dragging them along in its magnetic field because otherwise it would be gone too quickly.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, so if it would have been over a few feet, it would have splatted them against its windshield. But because they just got pulled by the wake through nothingness.
That's enough
That makes sense.
To jar it, I guess.
Yeah, they got
pulled over.
yanked.
Yeah.
Which they go on about the word yank later.
Oh yeah.
Yanked.
Yes,
Yank is a strange word.
Took that picture as well of the book.
Okay.
Yeah, and so before they know it, they're on the Andalite ship. They like literally were about to die. They're just so close to death. I mean, they're always
Yeah, and
so close to death.
Axe is the only one that's able to help because they can't scream because there's no air, but he can like brain scream, and he says, "Hey, help us! We're out here."
Yeah. So they get on the ship and they basically have to explain themselves a bit, right? But they find out that this ship is like essentially going to the Lyran planet. That the Lyra War that was alluded to in Book 15, that I was for some reason alluding to at the beginning, is now happening in real time. There is a real battle going on, Andalites versus Yeerks, for the Lyran planet. This is the war that the sharks, or that Visser 1 was having sharks turn into an army for. They were trying to take over the Lyrans, and there are quite a few Lyran controllers they discover. Now, how did that happen? I don't know.
We also get the discussion that Axe has with the captain and the TO, which they finally actually use the non-contracted version of it, like 3 chapters later. So I'm like, yeah, the TO. Obviously, every ship's got a TO.
Mm-hmm.
You just TO, that guy TOs.
Mm-hmm.
Tactical officer is what that stands for.
Yes.
But the tactical officer keeps giving him guff. He keeps basically saying like, none of this really makes any sense. How dare you accuse this and that? And how dare you make these stupid decisions, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, oh, this guy's really, being kind of a jerk to him. But the captain is kind of tacitly like, oh, yes, well, I understand why these things might be going on. In fact, I served under Elfangor. And I'm like, oh, okay, so cool. Like this is the dude, and, like he can easily be trusted. It was just like the little thing slipped in there, and I was like, oh, obviously this guy's a good guy. And come to find out, not quite the good guy that I was hoping he was going to be.
Did you notice that with those new Andalite characters, which is kind of easy to sometimes glaze over their names a little bit, but there was a lot of like similar name parts to Axe?
Yeah, there was another Esgaruth, and then another
Serenial.
Serenial, yeah. So I'm just trying to think, like, how does all that work? Is it like, maybe it's like a mom side, dad side, herd? Wasn't there's like herd names, I think, at some point with Andalites, maybe? I don't know.
I thought it was the prince that they served under. They took on the name of that person.
Ooh.
There's like a force group and stuff like that. Because originally I was like, oh, look, Force Commander, Esgaruth. And I'm like, oh, it's Axe's dad or his mom. Very reductive of me. That's entirely my bad. This is the, I can't operate on this child. He's my son. And it's like, the surgeon was a lady. And I'm like, okay, well, that's on me. I just assumed because you had the same last name that obviously you were related. This is an alien society, as it turns out. So, my bad.
I don't know. Maybe it's just like, obviously there's 2 Johns here. So I guess it could just be that.
They must be related. Very much so.
Yeah, and so they learn more about the war, and so Lyra is a big old planet, like 90-something% water. There's a little bit of crappy land, but the oceans are amazing. The Lyran cities are in the water, but obviously the continent controls the planet. Okay, I don't know. That's what they said.
That's what they said.
So it's Yeerks and Andalites just battling the crap out of each other on this continent, and
the Lyrans are just like, why they're just hiding in the ocean. Like, we don't care. Take that land.
Yeah. But yeah, I guess so. I mean, really, what are they doing? They're psychic. Like, shouldn't they be able to help? Whatever. So there's a lot less Andalites than there are Yeerks. Like, this is not a war that's going to go the Andalites' way from the perspective of everybody so far. Now, Axe just ditches his buddies and goes full on Andalite. When he hears about this war, he's like, I got to serve this new prince. Like, I'm with my people now. I mean,
it's like, no, sorry, Jake. You're not my prince anymore. This is my prince because I'm in the military. This is who I'm, who I work for now.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I get that. But then this is also the second Axe book. And just like Marco is the only one who meets the Chi, or Visser 1, every Axe book, he's like, no, I don't trust you. I'm betraying you. Mm-hmm. I'm loyal for all the other books, but
just these, yeah.
Yeah.
We get a bit of that special thing, right? Like, because he ends up being the last one to save the day. and just happens to be the narrator of the book, right? That tends to happen a lot. If ever you are doing a mission with the Animorphs, you think, okay, who saved the day last time? Like, who won last time? So who's on rotation next, right? So, like, Rachel did it last time. So let's see. That's okay. So then Axe is next. So, okay, we got to put Axe in the position to win, right? That's how you win.
Is this one of those Tobias after Rachel times, or is this an Axe after Rachel
they
times?
have to discuss that. Okay, so is there a 1 in front of it or not a 1 in front of it? Yeah. So they're about to help the Andalites. They're on this Andalite ship to go help the Andalites on the ground. When suddenly the captain of the ship totally turns on them and says, "Ha, I'm with the Yeerks. I'm going to take all you prisoner. We're going to land behind the Yeerk lines, and Visor 4 is going to love me." Axe is completely shocked by this.
It is interesting. Like in the earlier part of the chapter when Axe accidentally reveals that Elfangor gave the morphing power away, the captain is the one who says, "Elfangor was my friend as well as my prince. I'll believe he broke the rules. I'll never believe he did wrong." So given that statement, do we think maybe the captain had some kind of ulterior motive that he used to justify why he was working with that there was some kind of greater good for the Andalites that he was going to achieve by breaking these rules? Like, we don't really get any kind of depth to his...
No, we don't.
To his betrayal, but I did think that was an interesting line.
Yeah, because you didn't have to include that, right? Like, you could just have him be a bad guy at the end. You don't have to show, like, a sentimental, thoughtful part of him, and you chose to.
Now, is that just, like, more padding to make you not suspect him so that the twist is even more shocking?
Right? Like, you could just be like, oh, I'm just going to say a bunch of stuff that doesn't really mean anything for that character just so that you don't suspect them. Like, it should be natural. I mean...
Okay, to be fair, this is a young adult book, and I definitely
not even young adult, middle grade.
No, I definitely fell for it, so...
I mean,
it's not,
me too, and I've read it before.
Yeah, it's not just fluff, because it definitely got me, so...
Okay.
Sorry about you.
but yeah, he like chops off the TO's tail. He like just starts, and then I started blasting like all throughout the room, and they land behind Yeerk lines, and
So you mentioned he slices the guy's tail. We also mentioned that there are several Andalites with battle scars, and right, like maybe there's
have we seen
a guy with an eye patch, and like I think we were discussing how they.
It's later on when we meet up with Force Commander Escaruth and his aide.
Yeah, I think you're thinking of other ones, Patrick.
Oh, but it's a little later on in this book. Yeah. Just like
there are battle scars, and like T.O. cut off his tail, and I keep saying T.O. and thinking of Terrell Owens, which is not the same thing.
Not the same guy.
But he cut off his tail, and like, yeah, I think this is the first book. Alex, tell me if I'm right here. This is the first book where you really see like, yeah, the Andalites made morphing a thing, but like, it's not like a big part of like their life, really.
Yeah, we get the lore in the what is it, chapter 18? Yeah, chapter 18, I think, 17 or 18. But yeah, Patrick's exactly right. We do see people with battle scar morphs, and that kind of requires that discussion about, what is morphing to this society? Because I was under the impression, again, throughout this entire time, that it was like all Andalites have morphing capabilities. And I think they confirm that, but they also are like, yeah, but you don't really use them. Yeah. I'm like, that's absolutely baffling to me. If I had the ability to turn into a bunch of animals, I'd absolutely be doing that every day.
I think everyone in the military gets it, but then only like the spies are the ones that really use it in a deep, like the Animorphs do. But even the Animorphs, they see the Animorphs the way they use them, they're like blown away. They're like, wow, like this is crazy. I never thought of this. Like, how do you do this stuff? And they're like, I don't know, you just do it, man.
Yeah, and that pokes a hole in my theory, which was, the animal or Andalite propaganda network is going real hard. You are the best species. Every other species is below you. Why would you ever turn into another species? We just built this technology because we can, because we're the best and the smartest.
I mean, I do love that.
If I had a knife tail and, was shredded with an 8-pack, like, Axe or Elfangor or Visor 3 are always shown in any kind of visuals and stuff, absolutely. I wouldn't need to transform. I'd look shredded all the time. Mm-hmm. But you know, as a soft, squishy human, maybe some days it's nice. That's all I'm saying.
But speaking of like Andalite scars and stuff like that, so like there's a lot of people who question about book 1, like why didn't Elfangor just morph to heal his injuries? Do Andalites know whether morphing can heal injuries or not? And maybe that's a huge part of why they don't use it as much.
Because they just don't think of it?
Yeah. Or is that something that maybe the human Animorphs can do a little bit better? Like the Andalites don't realize that's even a special case. Like Rachel, her foot scratches are healed in Megamorphs 1, and Tobias heals his wing in 13. But we have all these Andalites with battle scars, and like, you know, the tactical officer doesn't think like, oh, let me just quick morph and morph back. My tail will be fixed. He's just like, no, I will go down with the ship.
He's like, nah, just die. I'll just die. Yeah. That's a great point. That's a great point.
I was reading another book recently where this guy's like really strong and he's going into this dangerous place, but he's got brand new armor. And so nobody takes him seriously because his armor is in perfect condition. He doesn't have any like scratches or repair marks or anything. And so it's like, who are you, new guy? And so, you know, maybe the Andalites are like that, where how many knife fights have you been in, Mr. Perfect Skin over there? And so, yeah, maybe it's just like a badge of honor. But at that point, you're like, he removed my tail. Let me morph out, morph back. Just, I guess, give myself the scars again.
Just to show it, yeah.
It's just like tally marks, like how many knife fights have you won? 1, 2, 3, ouch, 4, ouch.
Without them being fatal would be the thing. So that does make sense in a like warrior society of like, they want their aesthetic battle scars, but also if you're about to die, maybe there's bigger fish.
You're going to lose them all. You're like, I've been accumulating these for like 20 years. Oh, I'm going to lose them all in like 10 seconds.
And
I forgot where they all are because they just know they're going to be there.
Speaking of dying, so the tactical officer manages to shoot the captain as Axe is going, you know, tail to tail with him. And the Animorphs provide their distraction and they're sarcastic, witty, you know, oh, obviously we listened to you, Axe. Wink, wink. Just kidding. We actually didn't. We never listened to you.
We didn't stay in our room.
For better or worse.
Yeah.
Yes. And so he zaps him, which was terrifying because it's basically like you saw him like crackling with energy and then he disappears.
Yeah, the captain, the traitor. Yeah.
Yeah, compared to a Dracon beam where it's like, oh, it just kind of cuts a hole through you. I didn't realize the shredder just evaporated you.
I think the Dracon beam does sometimes, but it's kind of inconsistent on when it's like, oh, it
depends on
make your whole arm disappear. It'll make a hole, or it'll make all of you disappear, or whatever.
Zap or disintegrate.
Oh no, I hit the ground. The whole planet's gone.
Yeah, shot the ground. The whole planet disintegrated.
But the you know, he basically says, yeah, I'm going to blow up the ship. You guys got to get away from here and everything. And like, I got chills at the end of this chapter.
This scene was legit.
With the idea of like Axe is hearing all of these people, all these 100 people on this ship doing their like death ritual chanting. And he's like, and then we were, you know, we left and it's a good thing we were far enough away to not hear like the death throes of these. We went from 0 to 100 in this set of chapters. And this was a wild, like, you know, there is no winning in war statement to go ahead and just punctuate the middle of the book with. To just go on from here really colored the remainder of the story for me.
I could visualize that scene like cinematically. Very much as he's morphing into, I think, a fly to get out. Hearing everybody, but also panicking and actually saying it with them because he feels like he should, but also knowing that he's going to escape and like he's not going to die. And then he's like the burden of how bad he feels.
Survivor's guilt.
Yeah. It was really, really, that's probably the best chapter of the book, to be honest.
Yeah.
So sorry. What was happening? The captain betrayed them and they crashed behind enemy lines. I forget what was the motivation for the new acting captain to fire all the weapons at the same time, causing the ship to super explode. He's like, we're going to do as much damage as we can.
Yeah,
but,
I think they were just surrounded.
Oh, they're surrounded. Okay, I'm like, why not just, hey, everybody get out of the ship. I'm going to blow it up. But if they're surrounded and they're going to die anyway, well, this is an honorable way to do it. Okay.
Right. Right.
And also, you can't let yourself be captured. So if you fight in close quarters, someone could stun you instead of, just disintegrate you. And then, wow, now you have new Andalite controllers. You can't have that.
Yeah.
Nice. Okay.
We got one, and he's a real piece of work. Hate that guy.
So they just see the war happening on the planet now, on the continent, because they're on the ground level, and it just sucks for the Andalites. The Yeerks are just kick their butt.
Especially bad for Axe, who was hearing about all of this stuff while all of the Animorphs are basically like, way to betray us, dude. That was super uncool.
Yeah. He's like feels bad about avoiding death when his other warriors had to die. He feels bad for like poo-pooing off the Animorphs to jump to the Andalites. He feels bad that there's a traitor among them. He feels bad that the Yeerks are winning this planet. Like, he just feels bad, like real bad.
And then I got to hand it to Jake, Mr. Master of Understatement, coming in and kind of trying to settle the whole thing. That was rough, what happened back there. A lot of good guys just died. Everyone's hyped up. So let's just chill.
Oh, thanks, Jake.
I mean, like a 13-year-old who's like, man, emotions are running high. They need me to say something. I get you, Jake, but maybe let's put some more gravitas on it.
It's very much like, did you try not being anxious?
Have you tried not being depressed?
Have you tried not being a mutant? Yeah. Yeah.
Gosh.
So
this is rough. This is a rough chapter to follow up on after all of that death too, because then Axe is just kind of like, he's reeling. He really is. And it's not just a matter of like, oh, and then I had to shake it off, which I feel like we get sometimes with some of the other characters, especially Rachel. She's just like, whatever, I got to shake it off and I got to get angry. Or, Marco, who's like, I just got to put on a happy face for everybody. But Axe really goes through it here and then threatens Rachel. And that's just...
Marco's mad. Like, they're tearing him up.
Yeah, this was a rough series of back-to-back chapters, I got to say.
But Axe suddenly has a realization because he had gotten some debriefing on the war on the ships. And he's like, I think I know what they're doing. But I can't tell any of you because if any of the Lyrians hear any of us, they'll know what's up. So I won't tell anyone. But then the Lyrians like hear the plan within like a few pages anyways. That kind of... just say now, the plan is they're like, oh my gosh, the Andalites wanted the Yeerks to take over the continent because there's a giant cave under the continent, the only continent on the planet. And we set an explosive there. We could just blow the whole thing up. And the Lyrians won't care because the continent doesn't mean anything to them. They describe it as dry, rocky, humid thing. All the Lyrians like live in these beautiful oceans.
It's the center of the Pacific Ocean to us. Like nothing lives there.
Yeah, there's no point.
And just like,
just blow it up.
We throw a garbage there.
It's like Futurama with the garbage planet, the garbage meteor that they... Yeah, it's like that.
Don't blow up our garbage planet.
But at this point, they're realizing that... Now, this is something I didn't understand was because I think Axe even said earlier, hey, we all got pulled over into Z-space by being too small of a morph. We might get pulled back over time. There's been a hypothetical for a situation like this. Didn't he say that to them?
I think so.
I thought he said that.
Right at the beginning.
Right.
And then like Tobias is gone and everyone is so convinced that he's super dead.
Okay, so was it in the beginning, like the intro, like the prologue almost, where he's like, here's the crazy stuff that happened? Or was it like during the plot of the story?
I think the doctor might have mentioned, like the Dr. Andalite, it was like there might be a snapback effect, but it's not really discussed much at that point.
Because like when I'm reading it, I'm like, well, it could be that snapback effect, but you're not.
Yeah, I was pretty sure it was was it Galluit and his aide who has the scar, and then this science officer that I think Rena's mentioned on. So
okay, yeah, and so Animorphs start disappearing, and it's freaking them out because they're like, wow, we could go next, and I don't know where they're disappearing. Are they just disappearing? Are they snapping back to Z space where they're just going to die? Are they going back to Earth? Like, I don't know where they're going. It's very much like I don't know what's after death type thing, which alludes to like Axe's fear of death in this book in the first place. So
yeah, I don't know if it's just because I remembered it from before or like the last time I read it, but for me there was very little tension regarding like what's happened to them. Like,
the disappearing
Tobias
part
is gone. Like they act like they just like ran away or got captured or something until there's only 3 of them left.
Mm-hmm.
Well, yeah, it is something that you expected a little bit more reaction on because Tobias, they're like, oh yeah, we saw the Taxon mouth, and then Tobias just is gone. And so I was like, okay, well, when are we going to get Tobias busting out of of this taxon or something like that. We don't.
And just gone. Yeah.
She's gone.
So if you don't see it coming, then it can be kind of crazy, but they don't have time to even talk about it. They're just like, we just have to do this fast now before all of us disappear. Because it's just time. It's a time intensive. It's a heist. Like Patrick, you were telling me, it's a heist, right? Like it's like we got to get to this bomb in the middle of this cave, but to get there, you have to go under this part, go through this tunnel. Then there's these crazy snake things that are at the top. Avoid those. When you get past that, this obstacle course of things to get through.
Yeah, it's very Ocean's 11.
Yeah.
So they've crashed on the land. Axe is like, wait, we have to go to find this Andalite person, and I think they would be in the city, which would be in the water. They found the city. They talk about how cool it is, and then they're attacked a few times by Lyrans while there's sharks swimming around in the water trying to find the city. I don't know what motivates them to do this, but they just like bite the back of their head. There's this like little gooey or this little bump on the back of their head, and they bite it. And then the Lyran's like, hey, it's okay. We're basically Hork-Bajir. We can rip open our own brains and we're fine. We'll heal. I'll just go to my man cave and play Xbox until this heals.
Yeah, I'm just glad I'm not a controller anymore. So thanks. I think one of the Lyrans, like broke through for a second and gave him a vision of what they could do.
Lyra, get ready to turn up your Friday night. This weekend, Poison Frog Nightclub brings you the wildest crowds and the party you've been waiting for.
Debatable. How do you quantify that? Are there competitions for wildest crowd? I bet this club couldn't make it out of regionals.
Doors open at 9. Drink specials all night.
He is using marketing tactics to deceive you. They're only drink specials because the drinks are so expensive on Wednesdays. Expensive drinks on Wednesdays justify a skeleton crew to keep operational costs down.
We've got the hottest DJs spinning the biggest hits.
I'm not going to a club with sick DJs, no matter how hot their fevers might be. If they are the biggest hits, they are likely all over the radio. Why should I go somewhere with poison in the name?
Don't miss the energy. Don't miss the music. Don't miss the night. Poison Frog Nightclub, where Lyra comes to play.
He is deceiving you again. All of Lyra plays here in one room. Can you imagine?
By the way, as we're going through this, there's a part where Rachel demorphs and then speaks in thought speak. There's a part where everyone demorphed and then Jake is speaking in thought speak. Like they were really inconsistent with dialogue in this one, I thought. It was almost like hurried. I don't know if you guys noticed that ever, but there was parts where I'm like,
I did not.
Jake's talking in thought speak. I thought he did demorph. It says everyone demorphed. That happened 3 or 4 times.
There was a part near the end where it's just Jake and Axe left, and in the text it says, Jake says, what do we do? And then Axe is like, well, as Rachel would say, let's do it. And I was like, shouldn't that be reversed? Like, shouldn't Axe being like, what do we do, Prince Jake? And Jake, well, as Rachel would say, let's do it.
Yeah, there's these little missed, I don't know. It's like they just wrote it through real quick and didn't quite think about the details, including even like quotes or carrots, I don't know. Those things bothered me. I brought it up because here, this part you're talking about with the Lyrans was sometimes as Lyran controllers, they were talking as in their fancy Lyran font, which is like bold, italic, and underlined at the same time, which is hilarious. But also sometimes the Yeerk would just thought speak to them.
Yes, I noticed that. That was really hard when I was doing this as my podcast because I had different audible effects for thought speak versus the Lyran speak. And so I was trying to figure out is this a typo? Is this an intentional thing? Can Yeerks in Lyran heads thought speak? Even though they have a slightly different version of speaking when a Lyran is speaking normally? Is that a thing? I don't know. I think I decided.
Is there something wrong with my book?
Yeah.
There's a different edition.
I think what I eventually decided was okay, the Yeerk's thought speaking happens 3 different times, and I was like, it does seem kind of overly coincidental to have 3 of those typos on completely different chapters.
But it doesn't make sense.
It's got to be. Yeah, I was like, it doesn't make sense to me, but I feel like it's got to be intentional, and so they must have multiple forms of just being able to speak somehow that a Yeerk can access. I don't know.
There was a lot of that through the book, but
Yeah.
once or twice, but it was like a lot of times.
Well, they mentioned that the lobe is not necessary. I also think it's a little bit of a cop out. Thank you, appreciate that. A little bit of a cop out to say you've got the Lyrians who have this lobe that's not necessarily required on the back of their heads that the Yeerk is necessarily in, versus all these other creatures where it's like there's no way to really remove it mechanically without killing the creature, regenerating or not. So it's a little bit of a MacGuffin to me.
Convenient
in that capacity.
But they do get all the way to this cave. They get to the bomb. Axe is the last one left because he's the narrator. Duh. Every other one has disappeared, popped back into wherever. So they get to the bomb.
Just before we get to the bomb,
yeah,
we get a couple of different things because they got to adapt the Lyran morphs and everything like that, and all their minds open up to each other because it's a psychic group. Yeah. Also, prior to that, I love the moment where the Lyrans, being psychic, and can like kind of see like the apprehension. They're like, "Look, we know you need to kind of go about this." He specifically calls out Cassie, and he's like, "Look, we consent to being transformed into. Don't worry about it. It's perfectly fine. I know you're worried about it, but." I love that, like, the proactives. It made sense. It made it kind of jump into, like, these are psychic critters. They know how to do this, rather than just feeling like this is just a plot device.
Yeah, but then a plot device to avoid or whatever, yeah.
But then to have all of their minds kind of open to each other, it's like, this is a little bit, almost like being naked around other people kind of situation where it's like everybody's kind of laid bare in these moments. And you've got Marco's thinking about, am I going to see Visser 1 after everything that happened? Jake's like, everybody's looking at me. I'm crazy stressed. And then Cassie's over here like, are we doing the right thing? Yeah. And she's also like simultaneously like crying internally for, losing Tobias and Rachel, which this is a lot. This is a lot to have opened up and flooded into your mind without the ability to kind of shut it off.
But they do figure out how to shut it off. But like, if we are, because they morph Lyrans and they're dealing with this, and they're like, we can turn it. If there's an ability, we can turn it off.
Yeah,
so they do.
Which good for figuring that out.
I don't know.
yeah,
I don't know.
How does it work? Because they can turn off their broadcast. Like Axe says, he can no longer hear the other ones around him, and then he turns his own off. Which okay, great. Now they're using their cool underwater jet skis to get to the Lyran city, but we have to still stay away from any Lyrans or they're going to know what we're thinking.
That's what I was thinking too. I was like, couldn't you just block it from everyone that you're going past now?
Maybe it's only you can block reception. I don't know. Maybe you can't block outgoing. Like maybe there's a permanent outgoing signal. You can only block the reception signal.
So all these like secret thoughts are blasting out, so there's no one to hear them.
You've got a block list of 5 users, and
that's it.
I still don't want Jake to know what I'm thinking. Yeah. So
I'll let this random Lyran hear about my weird, embarrassing thing. I just Jake can't. No. Yeah.
Here's where we get all the cross-examination by the science officer and the idea of, we get most of these guys who learn how to morph, but they never really acquire any particular morphs. So, we got one bird, and like my friend's dog, and that's it. So we're not well equipped.
Yeah, they're just blown away by like, wow, you guys really use this morphing. Like,
I do think this is the best book so far to really like to have morphs as like a Rolodex, so you could just flip through and be like, okay, what's the best for this situation? Okay, we got this, we got this, we got this. Okay, we're gonna go bat, we're gonna go shark, we're gonna go mosquito. Like we're gonna go all like just cataloging and picking the best for the situation. I was like, that was really cool.
Agreed. Yeah. I was thinking the same thing. Yep.
Yeah.
Rather than just saying,
wrote it down.
We can go ahead and do an elephant morph and bust up a hospital again. No, we're not doing that again. We need
that was all of us.
Come on.
Move on, Rachel.
Rachel, do you want to be known for that? No.
It's kind
you
of
want to be typecast? Oh, I'm surprised Rachel didn't destroy a hospital this week.
Jake has a good line near the end here because it's just him and Jake left as they're trying to get to this bomb, and Jake's like, hey, I appreciate you coming back to me and princing me or whatever, but you really don't have to call me Prince. And Axe is like, okay, whatever. They always go through this. Yes, Prince Jake. Like, no, you don't call me Prince. And then Jake says, you could just call me Jake, formerly known as Prince. And there's no one there to get the joke.
Poor terrible joke in the first place.
It is a terrible joke, but there was no one there to hear the terrible joke. It's just a room full of weird water snakes.
And then we finally get to our quantum bomb room where everything's going on. But just as, he's about to activate it and all that stuff, boom, the door busts open. And you know what the worst possible thing to show up is? Jetpack Hork-Bajir, which
Well,
I
it
was
was
like, man,
through
if
a
they
hole in the
couldn't get
wall.
any worse. And it's
Yeah.
like, and then they had little rockets on their feet and on their tails, so they could just kind of slowly descend. Hilarious thought.
Yeah. Yeah.
Every time we've talked about Hork-Bajir, I have not pictured them having tails.
Yeah.
They've
They
been
do.
described as having tails?
They're T-Rexes.
Yeah. Yeah.
Phew, okay,
Yeah. But I thought when they were on these like
got me there.
when they were on these like I thought of them as almost like wild roller skates, but I mean not skates because they're, jetpack
Rocket skates.
floating things. I think of like the elves from the Santa Claus, kind of. Like when those elves like break Santa out of jail and they like float away and do like cartwheels and stuff. It's like that kind of thing.
Big
Yeah.
energy.
Yeah.
Um,
So they Axe, luckily he presses the thing for this bomb, and then he turns around and he's like, "Oh my gosh, this Hork-Bajir is about to blast me right in the face," and it does. But right then, he also pops back.
So
The
we don't
end-
see the Elemist in this book, but like this is 100% start to finish, all Elemist
that's
shenanigans,
exactly
right?
what I thought. It's exactly what
gotta
I
The
be.
best part about the Elemist character is that you can do that, right? Like that's like a brilliant construct in this storyline where you can add those kind of things, where it's like, oh yeah, incredible convenience. Probably the Elemist did it, right?
I like to think of it as plausible deniability. If he
Yeah.
can mess with the probabilities enough that it's like, what are the odds? It's a 1 in a billion chance. And the Elemist is like, nobody look into what that chance actually turned out to be. Don't look at it.
Or I imagine like
Don't think about it.
yeah, if well, I can't get to spoilers, but if there's somebody else that like was poking the bodies in Z space, like, no, I'm just gonna nudge you a little over there to really screw it up, and then the Ellis is like, well, you're messing with this, so I'm gonna mess with this. I can see things like that. Is that vague enough for you, Alex? I hope so.
Yeah. Actually, that made me think of something. Yeah, again, no spoilers, but like, in a couple of books, the Animorphs have a situation where they're very unlucky in a lot of ways. So it kind of makes you wonder, was this the trade-off? Like the Elemist like made them super lucky this book, and then Krayok was like, well, the trade-off is I'm going to make them unlucky in
Yeah.
another book.
Yeah.
So,
Could
I mean,
be.
again, we never see either of them, but maybe that's the
Um,
the explanation.
I'm going forward with that in mind as an opportunity. I like that.
And it's very, very fast. They're like right back. Hewlett, the Aldershot, is like swatting at mosquitoes because they're all mosquitoes, and he just wakes up, and they're
He
like,
just wakes up.
"Oh,
Yeah.
he's just awake now."
That whole plot line, it's done.
And then,
we
and then
don't
so
need
then
it
Visitor
anymore.
3 can't acquire him because now there would be 2 of them, or why does the Visitor 3 just make him a controller now?
Well, Visitor 3 is not there at the moment. It's just, the 12 guards, and they just all jump ship as one does, I guess.
Yeah, they did. They were all like, "Screw
Well,
this."
they're shooting. They're shooting out the window still, and
Right.
shooting at this bush. And we hear, "Oh no, the police are coming!" And then I think
scatter.
they all run.
Everyone
Yeah.
run.
Yeah, and so I guess Hewitt Aldershot III is free to just check out of the hotel.
He's good.
Hospital. It's the second time this episode I've
It
called
is
it a
a
hotel. It's like, what, Bad Moms? I just wish I could be hit by a car and spend a week in a hotel so I not have to deal with my kids.
Yeah, it's one of those.
Is the line. Kids, if you're listening, I love you very much.
We love you.
And
That
I
was a
spend time
joke.
with you.
So as a quick exposition on explaining everything here, there's a great bit where, so wait a minute here, Rachel said, we get zapped back here through zero space, one by one at different times. But when we get back here, we all arrive at the same moment and no time has passed. I nodded my human head. We were at the mall, blah, blah, blah. Exactly, Rachel. Exactly. Exactly. We arrived back at the precise moment we were snatched away. We were all yanked away at the same moment, so naturally we all arrived back at the same moment. Yanked. Yanked is a strange word. Yank. Yanked. And my favorite line, it's so good. Yeah, Marco said. That's what's strange. The word yanked. Us turning into mosquitoes to suck some guy's blood so we could morph into him and instead end up in the middle of some war to control psychic yellow frogs and, oh, by the way, blowing up a small continent full of Yeerk, saving an entire species, and then getting back here to find out Coma Man woke up from a mosquito bite. Delivered by a morphing alien/deer/scorpion/four-eyed centaur. That's all totally normal. That's just an average day. Dear Diary, another boring average day. Until someone said yanked. I laughed. I audibly laughed at that line. It was great.
It's so good.
It's very, very good. And I mean, that's like a page away from the end, man. Like, it's just like,
Yeah.
The
And everything was fine. Don't look into that anymore.
don't look into that anymore.
That's
Yep.
the ending, basically.
Mhm.
Yep.
We were all yanked away at the same time, so it's only natural that we all got yanked back at the same time. Yeah, and thank goodness Tobias wasn't the narrator this week. We all laughed.
I do have a theory, though, as to why they were yanked back in the order that they were.
Okay.
So my theory is that it has to do with their mass. And that they get yanked back in order from smallest mass to greatest. Because Tobias goes first. He's definitely the smallest. Then Rachel goes, and we know this is the 90s, and Rachel has been, described as beautiful and like a model, so she's probably very thin, even if she is tall.
Yeah, tall. She goes, tall for her age.
Then we have Marco. I could see him being the next. Then Cassie after that. She's definitely, they're the same size, she and Marco, but she's got more muscle. She works hard.
Yeah.
Cassie's got that farm
Jake
strength.
is the heaviest human. He's always described as like a big guy.
Yeah.
And then Axe has to be the heaviest.
Okay.
He's an andalite. So that's my theory.
I like this explanation. I like it.
I love this theory. It's great.
Okay.
So
going into the headcanon.
Yeah.
Yeah, so what'd you guys think of number 18, The Decision?
Is that the book we read?
Yeah, I think so. Forgot.
Hold on, let me look at the title.
Couldn't decide.
Okay, title of the Animorphs 55 episode is... Yep, that's us.
Nailed it. I'll go first this time.
Please.
What do you think about that?
That's his decision.
Rare.
Good one. The structure of this one was interesting. I don't know what you gain necessarily in the first few pages by kind of saying what happened. And in the sense that he says it, it's not super direct, but it's kind of like, man, we disproved some crazy stuff about zero space. We had an incident with Andalites. Can you believe there could be traitors? All these things that it said. And I don't know what it gained by saying that ahead of time. Kind of bothered me, but then all these little inconsistencies, the thought speaking when you shouldn't, I get it. But it happened 4 or 5 times. It almost felt like a rough draft in that sense. Plus the Kafit bird thing where it's logically this doesn't make sense. So I just felt like this was one of the more plot hole heavy books that we've had. And it seemed mostly just because of editing to me. That dings it a little bit to me. I thought the story was great. I think Axe books are really great in general. You get a really awesome point of view as an alien, and the Yeerk War thing, super fun. I know, Alex, like you said, we've done the snapback thing before. The other time it was the jungle and there was 2 of them. Now it's there's one of them that has to go back to where they should be. And then I'm convincing myself less and less. Then the Hewlett Aldershot thing where it was oh, don't worry about this now. It's no problem. As I started talking, I was at an 8, but I think I got down to a 6.
Wow.
So I'll say a 6. 6 out of 10.
All right. Again, it was weird how they gave away the plot of the whole book before the book started. I mean, I guess there were some things to talk about, but yeah, real weird. I felt like not a lot happened in this book, but then a lot happened in this book. If I was going to tell you the things that happened, Axe went to the mall, and then they decided they needed to get this guy, check out Hewlett Aldershot III. And then they decided to be mosquitoes, and then they went to space and then came back from space. I don't know. It feels like fewer sets than we usually go through, fewer locations. Yes. Maybe it's because they went to the hospital twice. I was going to correct myself and say hotel.
One of those locations is space. So how can you
That's a cool location.
How can you download that?
It's space, Patrick. It's space.
And you know what? That's what we're reading these for. Just cool alien stuff.
Yep. There's no subtext. It's just alien stuff.
Alien stuff.
Applegate, if you're listening.
Yeah, it's on the front of the book. Not just change. It says just alien stuff. Just alien stuff happens in this book.
I did misread it. Yeah.
Pick it up. Buy this book. Alien stuff happens. Once we got there, a lot of really cool stuff happened when they were on the spaceship and all the Andalites, the Axe's betrayal and then unbetrayal, everybody betraying each other.
Very soap opera-y.
Casting the Andalites as, you know what, we've kind of counted on these guys this whole series so far as being the saviors that are coming. It takes a while, but I guess at this point we've seen that the Yeerks were trying to breed sharks and then use them, but that didn't work. But they did already make it up to Lyra. So, and there are Andalites there. So the Andalites probably could have got to Earth by now if they would have been trying. So that's not particularly encouraging. Yeah, a lot of goofy stuff happens. I like how many different things there are for us to discuss. Like, hey, how does getting pulled through Z-space work? How do Lyran brains work? How does, turning on and off powers work? I don't know. It felt weird for it to be a heist. Like, how are all these snakes living in this cave?
Doesn't matter.
That are trained to echolocate and defend this. How did they get this bomb in there? Like, the Andalites got the bomb in there.
Good question.
Mm-hmm.
But there's all these dangers and they don't morph. And also they were carrying a huge bomb that, I don't know. A lot of inconsistencies. I don't know. Yeah, this was one of the ones that I remember more. So I'm going to give it more points. I'm going to say 6.
That's right.
I enjoyed it, but yeah, there were a lot of, I don't know, the hospital stuff wasn't super interesting to me. The plan to get mosquito blood was really stupid. I don't know. I feel like I'm talking so long that I'm taking everybody else's justification
It's
points.
The plot hole
but,
book. It's the plot hole book.
Yeah, at 6.
6
It was interesting, but a lot of flaws.
Rena?
Please.
So yeah, it's kind of tricky. It feels a lot like, there's the two big sections of the book. There's the first 40%, like I said, it's entirely set up to get to the main plot of the book. And I do think the stuff after the Z space snap, I think that's pretty strong for me. I thought it was really inventive way to get the characters to go to an alien planet, with the limitations of what they have in the series so far. I thought the descriptions of the alien planet were cool and creative. And like I said, I really liked the way that the Animorphs used all the different morphs and really showcased their capability as guerrilla soldiers at this point. And, really showed their value to the war effort in general. So I thought that half of the book was really strong, like an 8 or a 9 for that half of the book. But the first half of the book is like I said, the Mosquito and the Hewlett-Aldershot III, like those are both just plot points that don't really have any kind of impact, and they don't even work within the story. The Mosquito thing, it's not tested, but we can guess it wouldn't have worked. Hewlett-Aldershot III, he comes as a MacGuffin, and he just wakes up and walks away, and doesn't even get a proper resolution. It's he's literally not even a real person for most of it. So those moments are very, very weak. But I did like the emotional moments of Axe feeling like maybe his home isn't as safe anymore. I thought those were good emotional moments. So for the first half, I'd give it a 3. So averaging out, I'd give the whole book a 7.
Oh, 7.
Out of 10.
Okay. All right.
Mm-hmm.
7 palps out of 10.
7.
Yes. There we go. Love it. Okay. Well, I'm going to disagree with all of y'all, so deal with
My
that.
favorite book of all time.
It's up there. I think overall this is a great Axe story. I think we get a good insight into, especially after reading Andalite Chronicles and kind of seeing how society works with the, Andalites, kind of how they interact with each other, kind of how the hierarchies work, kind of how, people make bad decisions based on loyalties to their society rather than the idea of making smart decisions based on individual actions. That's a great way to show and not tell necessarily, and kind of give Axe a chance to respond to multiple levels of that and kind of get his chance to take the temperature of it. Because we haven't really seen a whole lot of Axe interfacing with, other Andalite societies. This is kind of the big one that we've really seen. I think he makes the phone call, but that's really the only other one that I can really think of. And even then, that gives an insight into, how he interfaces with it, especially as a young, untested Arist.
I say Arist, but
Arist. I like that. I do think that the B plot is absolutely wild, but honestly, there's been plenty of other really, really convoluted, nonsensical B plots that I think we've had. I think this one was honestly one of the cleanest because I think it was a very good job of here's what's going on. Is it a dumb plan? Yes. Are there a bunch of plot holes around it? Absolutely. Will this work? Definitely not. But they went into it without this
So
no, let's pontificate. let's pontificate. Oh, maybe this is too many people, so we got to come up with a backup plan. No, do the dang thing. We're either doing fake surrender or get help, and we're just going to bust in there and do the thing. I loved that. We made it nice and clean, because so much of the time you just end up with faffing about, and it's just not it. And then obviously once we get, that, like you were saying, that is an absolutely fantastic way to get them somewhere else without we need to get on a ship and the ship needs to go and we have time. Nope, we just drop you in the action. And that was a great, great choice rather than having to transit them to where they were going to go. I love a lot of the opportunities to think about how the world works, how the lore works, and how a lot of this stuff fits together. And frankly, for me, reading it for the first time, there were a lot of things that didn't really feel so much like plot holes, so much as they were like, that's something I'm going to have to noodle about, something I'm going to have to cogitate about to figure out, man, Axe was really, really thrown by the idea of seeing this bird. Okay, well, maybe the bird's an invasive species from another planet. There we go. I wrote that one off in my brain.
Nailed it.
So, but it gives opportunities to kind of rub some ideas together for a lot of this stuff. So I really, really enjoyed so much of this book. I felt like there were some heavy moments that just absolutely hit. They were not detracted from later on. They weren't just poo-pooed away. So honestly, I'm going to have to give this one 9.5 fully formed Andalite faces out of 10.
Wow.
Because that one guy had half the face. That was.
Have you given a 10?
That was missing. Yes, I have.
Ooh, which books are you given 10s to?
The Escape was a 9.5 out of 10.
Okay.
Also a Lyran book.
Oh, here we go.
Like the Lyrans.
The Change. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
The
That
Tobias
deserves a
book.
10.
Gave that one a 10 out of
Yes,
10.
of course. That is a fantastic book.
Most of the Jake books are really bad, except for the latest one. The latest one was pretty all right.
Oh, the Wild Internet one.
The latest one was 16. The
16,
Joe Bob
thank you.
Finestre.
That one was good. Yeah, I enjoyed that.
That one was fun.
But yeah.
Well, okay. So we read the decision. Rena, can you tell us more about, I appreciate you reading book 18 with us, probably for the 20th time yourself, but can you tell us what you've got going on? Tell us about yourself. Tell everyone else about what you got going on.
Yeah, so I produce the podcast called Animorphs Aloud, which is a fan audiobook reading of the Animorphs books. I started it April 24th in 2019 was when I released the first chapter of book 1. And at that time, there were no professional or official Animorphs audiobooks. I'm a professional audiobook narrator for one of my jobs. And so I was between contracts and I'm like, I need to be able to continually keep up my skills and practice. And like, hey, let's read this series that has a lot of great distinctive characters. That'll be the perfect thing to work on. So I did the first three or four books, and then all of a sudden Scholastic started releasing official versions of the Animorphs. And I was like, okay, I don't want to compete with official versions. Like, I very much want to support official merchandise, because if you buy it, they'll make more, and like, I think that's a great thing to have. So I stepped back from it for like a year or two, and then I actually had someone reach out and was like, I really like your version, are you going to come back? I was like, well, I hadn't thought about it, but you've convinced me. Okay. And so now I've come back to it, and like, now especially that, the entire series has been released by Scholastic. So I no longer feel like I'm directly competing and taking away listeners. Probably anyone who was going to buy it mostly has already probably purchased it. I mean, I know I've actually purchased half the series right now.
Yeah.
Not including the books I have on my bookshelf. I'm going to eventually have them all. Someday. So I'm currently working on book 22. I'm about 2/3 of the way through book 22 right now, and I do eventually hope to do the entire series. That's going to be a multiple year commitment, so it might take longer. If I get more, because I always have to balance it around. If I have like professional audiobooks going on, it's trickier to want to do hobby audiobooks after a long day. But I would like to eventually do the entire series. So,
I guess like you were bringing this back from when you were a kid, like you were a fan as a kid, or yeah. Yeah.
So, I first found the Animorphs books. I was, shortly before they finished the series. So it was probably in the late 40s or 50s was when I found the series.
Okay.
And so I was a voracious reader. I was always on the lookout for like multiple books of a set that I could read. And so I literally started in the A's and was like going down the shelves like, okay, what has lots of books in a row? And I got to Animorphs, and I was like, hey, that looks interesting. And so like,
Wonderful.
because it was such a big chunk. So that's how I got into it. And the only book, there are 2 books that I purchased for myself during the original series 1 run. I got Visser as a present because my mom thought she thought the cover was really cool with the shiny and a light cover. And I had 54 because my library didn't have 54 when it came out, so I had to buy that one for myself if I wanted to read it faster. So that's the only original one that I have from when it was like directly published. All the other ones have been coming from secondhand thrift stores.
Nice.
But,
Yeah, it's crazy to see how many are still in circulation. I went to a local resale bookstore and being able to pick up, swaths of them. Obviously, the first 10, I think everybody wants to jump in at that point. But those later on ones, it's like, yes, I could pick up a run of 10. This is fantastic.
Yes.
Rather than just having to have it be digital. It's, it's much richer that way.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I was at a hotel and they had like 19 and 20. And then I was at a little neighborhood library and they had the Megamorphs 2, which apparently is in 2 halves. It's like, wow, they have 2 copies of this.
Oh, Megamorphs 2, not only does that have, but that one had 7 different covers.
Mm-hmm. Wow.
There's like one
the
for
colors,
each,
right?
One of each for each of the lead Animorphs, and it's a slightly different picture on the inside. 7 different versions of that. So like if you're a hardcore collector, you have to find all 7 and the 2 halves.
Gosh.
Yeah. Just for that one Megamorphs, yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Man, we've been doing this for like a year and a half now. We've been showing Alex the community and everything. I don't know. I always like to ask guests, like, what do you think makes this series stick around? Like, why do people gravitate to it so much? What do you think?
I think it was a really unique premise. I thought that the authors did a great job really making the characters distinctive from each other. I mean, it's a little bit tricky when you have rotating first-person point of view. I mean, not so much between books, although I do remember when I first read the series and I didn't realize, I didn't really like grasp that it was a rotating point of view. So when I got to book 2, my mind was still mentally saying that Jake was still the narrator. And so sometimes when the narrator would look at Jake, her cousin, and I was like, wait, who's talking? Oh, it's Rachel. And I had to like...
Why is Jake so good at gymnastics?
And I kind of had to like get that perspective in my mind. But... they're actually very well done. Like each character, each narrator has a very distinctive way that they speak and talk and process things, and it does a very good job of making each book feel like it's done by a separate person and not like it's just the same person with a different name and pronouns every single time. And that's especially hard with the Megamorphs books because those are rotating first person in the book, 6 different characters. But I never feel like I have a lot of trouble being like, wait, let me flip back to the beginning of the chapter. Is this Tobias or is this Axe? I can't tell. Like, I feel like you can almost always tell. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I really appreciate the skill that goes behind that. And then, like I said, it's a unique premise. I thought like I had lots of like wacky fun plots. And like I said, for me, the fact that there were so many of them, like, I feel like it was a great way to encourage reading in kids who want to have some fun sci-fi stuff. And then, like the balance between humor and horror was really well done. If it had been too much horror, my mom would definitely have not let me read them. She read one of them and it had a scene where the characters slide down a banister as cockroaches to get from the 30th floor down to the first floor. And she laughed so hard. She was reading it at the gym. She laughed so hard she almost fell off the treadmill. And she was like, okay, Rena, you can keep reading those. So I was like, oh, okay, good. Like,
you did get to the part where Rachel was beating someone with her own severed limb. I'm so glad you read the cockroaches
with
instead.
That book, I might have had some trouble convincing her.
Yeah.
But yeah. So I got lucky. So yeah, I think that's just like they've managed to maintain that appeal. Just as fun, good kids books with lots of distinctive character.
I think it holds up really well.
Do you have any, maybe not fully textually supported headcanons about any of the characters that you'd like to share?
Ooh.
That's not too spoilery, if possible. I'm sorry. I realize I can close my ears if you'd like. I'll just take the headphones off.
I have one that I thought was really interesting, but it's not mine, so I can't really claim it.
Sure. Let's share.
it's not really spoilery. Yeah, so I don't think it's spoilery at all.
Okay.
But their theory was that Tobias eventually becomes the Ellimist one day, and I was like, oh, that's like a really interesting theory. And the whole like series of reasons why. Some of those reasons are spoilery, but I did think that like the idea was kind of interesting. I'm trying to think of something interesting. I mean, I guess like in this one, you heard a little bit of like my theories is like mass, like why they disappeared. So that tells you kind of like how I visualize the characters a little bit. Like Rachel tall and skinny, Marco and Cassie the same height, but Cassie being muscly. So I don't know if I have any other like specific headcanons that are just my own point of view.
Alex, there's some crazy ones out there online.
I mean, I have the way I have them. Obviously, I have the way I make them sound. So I've got Jake's voice. He's kind of like a little bit dorky, a little bit rough. And then you have Rachel's voice. She is the preppy, cheerleader kind of voice. And Tobias is really soft-spoken. And Marco, he sounds like he's kind of permanently going through puberty a little bit. And then Cassie is a little more laid back and a little more, just soft-spoken and really sweet. And then you have Axe, who has a slightly nasally voice, so he comes across as a little bit stilted. So those are all my like headcanons of how they sound.
Thank you. I love that.
I love it.
You got the Cinnabon at the ready to kind of just like, all right, I'm in the Cinnabon state of mind. It's time to go for the Axe voice. Let's go.
Yeah.
My Cinnabon
I wish I could eat a Cinnabon to
I'm in
prepare
the
for Axe, but
mindset.
to make my voice too sticky.
Do you got anything specific going on that you want to share with people and let them know about?
I don't have any audiobook projects in the works at the moment, but a lot of my earlier audiobooks, my professional audiobooks, I do have free listener codes on Audible. So if any of the listeners who listen to this episode decide they want to hear more of my professional books, if they want to contact me at rena.gale@hotmail.com and ask me about some of my early audiobooks, I can give out free codes to the first 5 listeners who contact me.
Perfect.
Cool.
I love that.
And then any social media shout outs or anything like that?
Oh, yeah.
I do have a website, renagale.com. I am technically on Blue Sky and Instagram, but I'm very inactive. So like, if you follow me or you wave hi, like I will definitely wave hi back or say, respond to direct messages. But like, if you're looking for me to like post and be like, here's the latest thing that's going on, my posts are few and far between, sadly. I'm working on it. I will get better in 5 years after I'm done procrastinating.
Solid.
Story of all of our lives.
Truly.
Okay, well, we did it. We read book 18.
We did.
That's how they get you.
And we all made the decision about how we felt about it.
Animorphs 55, the podcast, is a fan-driven, nostalgic podcast created by Zach Hurdle, Patrick Viersba, and Alex Holton. But don't tell the Yeerks. Theme music provided by Neko Boy. Podcast artwork by Rachel Hurdle. Episodes edited by Patrick Viersba. Based on the 90s sci-fi kids series written by K.A. Applegate, Michael Grant, and other contributing authors. To contact the show, email animorphspodpeople@gmail.com. We'd love to hear from you.
And opinions expressed by our guests do not necessarily reflect the views of the Animorphs 55 the podcast crew.